So welcome guys, welcome back. Today we are unlocking one of the most powerful tools in modern web design, that is CSS Grid Layout. If you have struggled arranging content on your web page like a pro, this video will make your life easier. So let's break it down step by step with real example. So let's go with CSS Grid. CSS Grid is a layout system in CSS that allows us to design web pages using rows and columns. CSS Grid is a powerful 2D layout system for web, allowing you to design complex web page structures with ease. It excels at arranging content in both rows and columns simultaneously, making it ideal for the main page layout or intricate component designs. Unlike Flexbox, which is one-dimensional, Grid works in 2D, both horizontal and vertical. So that's why we are learning CSS Grid Layout, Grid Container and Grid Items. So to start using CSS Grid, we first need to create a Grid Container. So create a dot class container with property display grid. Any direct children of this container automatically become grid items ready to be positioned within the grid structure as shown in figure as well. So defining rows and columns in CSS Grid. We can precisely control the structure of the grid by defining the size of its rows and columns using grid template columns and grid template rows. So here I have pasted the code also. Dot container class display grid template columns 200 pixels, 200 pixels and 200 pixels. Grid template rows 100 pixels and 100 pixels. This shows that a grid with 3 columns, each 200 pixels wide, and 2 rows, each having 100 pixels tall. So this is a grid example and it is already shown in figure, but due to some clearly visible issues, not properly visible. So move forward. What is responsive grid? So now we are going to discuss what is responsive grid and how it will be. So the FR unit for responsive grid, that is fractional unit, is essential for creating flexible and responsive grid. It helps building responsive designs easily. Layouts adapt to different screen sizes. It represents a fraction of the available free space in the grid container. For example, here you can see grid template columns 1FR and 2FR. That means the first column will take up one part of the available space and the second column will take up 2 parts, that is creating a 1:2 precise proportionality. So this is how we can create responsive grid. So let's discuss about spacing and alignment, gap, justify and align. So spacing is much important in CSS Grid. So CSS Grid offers properties to control the spacing between grid items, that is gap, and how items are aligned with the respective grid cells, justify items and align items. Dot container class, we have gap 20 pixels between all the grid cells, justify items center, align items center. This code adds a 20 pixel gap between all grid cells and centers content both horizontally and vertically within each grid cell. So this is how we can use spacing, and this is how we can create a proper layout alignment using the property of CSS Grid. So precise item placement with grid lines. So for ultimate control, we can place individual grid items using grid lines. Each line in the grid has a number that allows us to specify exactly where an item starts and ends. For example, I am taking item 1, grid column 1/3, that means it starts from line 1 and goes to line 3, and grid row will be 1/2, that starts from grid line 1 and ends to line 2. This flexibility allows us to create complex overlapping or multi-cell spanning layouts effortlessly. So this is what we learned. So let's move to VS Code first. So here I have created a class container with property display grid. And here, so here I have used grid template columns, repeat auto effect, and 3,1 FR, that means 3 columns. Yeah, 3 columns, 3 grid columns, and 1 FR means having same aspect ratio. It is same. So here you can see it is having same aspect and same gapping with all the 3. So this is how we can create a grid structure. Here I have used the div class container and items card 1, card 2, card 3. So what we learned? We have learned 2D layout power. CSS Grid provides robust tools for creating complex layouts using both rows and columns, making it ideal for modern web design. We learned about grid properties of CSS Grid, that is grid template columns, grid template rows, and gap, and how alignment can be done. Precise placement: utilize grid lines to accurately position and size individual items within your layout, enabling intricate designs. So now it's your challenge. Try building your own responsive layout using CSS Grid. Experiment with different properties and explore the possibilities. Till then, thank you. And in upcoming sessions, we will be doing projects as well with CSS Grid. So follow for more web dev content. Thanks for watching, and that's a CSS Grid in a nutshell. So